Today I am watching Peaky Blinders Season 1, Episode 6, the season finale. I'm excited and a little nervous to watch this just because I feel like this episode's going to be the showdown between Campbell and Tommy. That's my prediction at least, especially since Campbell has found the guns and says he's going to leave town as soon as he takes care of one thing. And he knows that Tommy and Grace are together, and I feel like Campbell is blaming Tommy for Grace's rejection when Campbell proposed, but yeah, I'm anxious about that. Freddie and Ada's situation was kind of on the back burner for the last episode, so I'm curious to see if their story will continue in this or if it'll pick up again in season 2. And if you want to have a say in what movies or TV shows I watch, be sure to join Patreon. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. Yeah, it's interesting considering the season started at this factory and this shop, so is it going to end there as well?
Of my officers, that people come here.
Is he hoping to get, like, his fortune read? Yeah, I can't. He definitely doesn't seem like the type of guy who would believe in fortune tellings or tarot cards or anything like that. So I'm curious. I don't think he was there just for a suit.
We're doing it today.
Oh, is today the Black Star Day? Or was Campbell trying to find like a hitman or something?
We can also clean and press your shirt while we do this.
Well, that's just convenient.
Anyway, I'll make you young as well.
Oh my, quite the promise. Samuel is a very handsome older gentleman. Is she hoping to meet Campbell here? This is the spot they usually met.
Oh.
Just because she rejected your proposal, sir.
And with whom?
Yeah, because you were spying on her, you creep.
And for what?
For love.
Yeah, something I think Campbell knows very little about. Yeah, he's like, this letter saying, like, you've betrayed everything I thought you were, like, you've disgraced yourself because you rejected me and then went with Tommy. And
Oh my God, I'm sorry. Did I do that?
It's okay. You're a special customer.
it's not okay. It's never okay.
With me for a moment.
Run, girl, run. Get out of there. No. Oh, what's gonna happen if Tommy finds Campbell coming out of the back room at this laundromat / brothel? Yep, you just told him. Campbell's back there. Yeah, what's he gonna... Oh, shoot. I think he was hoping no one would ever find out about his indiscretions.
And you still don't know how we found them, do you?
Is he gonna tell him about Grace?
Oh, you got lucky.
Oh,
Did I?
No.
Are opposites, but also just the same.
That's a good way to describe it, yes.
Your heart will be broken. Just the same as mine.
He's gonna find out about Grace today? Oh, shoot.
I have my family.
Enjoy your day.
Yeah, we don't know much about Campbell's, like, home life. Was he ever married? Does he have kids somewhere? Like, Tommy at least has his family, no matter what happens with Grace, so... Yeah, it's very interesting, and I like the way he said that they're opposites, but just the same.
Myself, then. You never talk about them.
Yeah, what happened to Paula's children?
Heart breaks even when I think about them.
Are they gone?
They took my children from me.
Oh my gosh.
They never told me where they took them.
Oh no. That's awful.
You have to be as bad as them above in order to survive.
Might be right about that.
And something about today you need to know.
Yeah, so Paula's kids were taken away by the police, and that's crazy that they would just show up, take her kids, not tell her where they are. She obviously hasn't had any contact with them, so they've been 3 or 5, and they would be around Ada's age now, I'm guessing.
You free?
He's free?
Minister personally.
Brixton in London? Is that where they were going to send him?
Was she involved in the discovery?
Yes, yes, she's the reason he found the guns in the first place.
See, I have plans for the Peaky Blinders.
I bet you do. Okay, yeah, so Freddie's free. And it looked like he had been in jail for a year or so, judging on, like, the baby.
I'd like to introduce the newest member.
Oh, Aida!
The clan.
This is the first time they're seeing the baby?
After Karl Marx.
Okay, okay.
Get a look at him. Oh, here we go. Hi, look. It looks just like...
Of course, Freddie's baby would be named after a communist. Yeah, it makes sense.
If what Aunt Polly says is true, you are.
Yeah, he didn't do it.
Thank you, Tommy.
And I guess he's the one that helped Freddie get out of jail as well. Okay, yeah, so they're ganging up with the Lees. They're gonna take down Kimber.
Tommy.
What happens if Campbell sees that Freddie is out walking around? Oh, that's cool. The reflection in the water of them walking. So creative. The cinematography in this has been amazing. So well done. They're like Reservoir Dogs, slow walking towards the camera shot. Tough guy walk. And just like the fire and all these things that would just be happening in the city just add to like the ambiance of this situation.
Get out of the way!
That's the one gun that was missing.
Looks like your friends are here.
Oh my god. Cheese and rice. There's Danny.
We know each other. We can talk.
There's things you don't know. Oh, Tommy.
Road. An old corporal of mine said he recognised some of the men. He said it's the Kimber boys, and they're heading this way.
Oh, shoot. Trouble might be heading their way sooner than they thought. She was gonna tell him. I feel like she was just about to tell him.
Love, is that barmaid?
I thought she was done with Campbell's stuff.
If you set eyes on her again, you might kill her.
Oh, what? She's the one that tipped off. What would she have to gain from telling Kimber's men? Yeah, I thought she was done with all this stuff. That's why she was gonna leave, because she knew it was a setup.
Turned out that copper as good as told him this morning, but I wanted to hear it from your own lips.
Oh, shoot.
So who are you?
This is not the showdown I was anticipating. Okay, yeah, so Paula's figured out Grace, but I still don't know, like, it doesn't make sense why she would tell Kimber. She's definitely done some shady stuff, but...
And if you're not gone from this city by tomorrow, I'll kill you myself.
Okay, well, there's that.
Maybe what really upsets you is the thought that one day you might lose him.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely it, also. She obviously doesn't appreciate that Grace was, you know, telling all their secrets to the police, but I feel like without these boys, without these, like, Tommy or Arthur or John, she wouldn't be the person she is.
Let dog eat dog. Let the beasts devour each other.
Yeah, he's like, let's just leave it alone. They're two gangs that we don't want either of them. He's like, I want both of these gangs out of the city, so if they fight and kill each other, he's like, well, my job's easier, so the police aren't going to intervene and try and help them. They are definitely outnumbered. Yeah, and he said, like, the Lees are on their way to this track because that was the plan originally, so the Lees are going to show up and see that the Peaky Blinders aren't there. Billy Kimber's not there.
Hold them up in the air so they can see what we've got.
Yeah, there's like 40 or 50 of them versus this like 10.
More guns and no balls, right, Billy boy?
Oh man, I'm so nervous. This is not gonna end well. They knew there was going to be fighting today. They just thought they would be in more control of it and that it would be on their turf or their terms basically, and that they would have more manpower.
Directly at the events of the day. And I like what I see.
Yeah, he's like, why would I interfere? Like, I'm just gonna let them fight it out. He doesn't really care if there's any other casualties.
We have to use guns. Let's use proper guns.
Yeah, Kimber doesn't know that they have a machine gun, and those shotguns take forever to reload and have 2 shells each. And here comes Danny with the machine gun.
Reporting for duty.
Oh, Comrade Freddie.
You were saying something about being outgunned.
Oh my god. That machine gun's gonna... This will be a quick fight. Oh, that's such a cool shot.
I believe you boys call this no man's land.
Yes, yes.
And listen.
Have you lost your mind?
I said shut up!
Oh, Ada, you bold lady.
Why should all you men die? It should just be them who's caused it.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. They shot Danny, they shot Tommy, oh my god, Kimber. Oh. He's like, yeah, don't worry about killing anybody else. I'm just gonna kill the 2 people that I want. Oh my god.
Get off!
Okay, bye, Kimber. Yeah, now how brave are his men gonna be now their leader's gone? Tommy just shot Kimber? Yeah, it happened pretty fast, but it looked like Danny jumped in the way to take the bullet that was meant for Tommy. Oh, Ada. Yeah, I would not do well sitting in the house watching that happen either. Like, do you feel better now? Like, now that you've, like, couldn't just leave her alone? Oh my god. Oh, Tommy did get shot. Okay. Oh! I'm so glad we have modern medicine. Oh my god.
There, I still have the knack.
Oh my god, I'd give him a drink.
Have a drink.
Cheese and yeah. He's definitely gonna need that. Oh my god.
Nice. Deep breath.
Yep, unfortunately it'll work.
It's gone.
Oh, that just a little bit too high, but man, that was close.
You like that?
Yeah, it's weird, like they already had the conversation of what to do when he died because Tommy pretended to kill him at, like, I think it was this first episode.
Come on. The day is ours, let's celebrate.
Yeah, well, Kimber's gone now, so... And if Campbell's leaving town, I don't know, but... Yeah, I'm curious to see what the next season will be about.
Mr. William Kimber has been found dead, a gunshot wound. So...
He was hoping it'd be Tommy, I'm guessing.
Peaky Blinders won.
Yep.
So...
Which is not what I think he wanted to hear. Yeah, he was gonna celebrate.
Does, Shelby's will get away with murder.
Yeah, because he told the police to stay away. Oh, man. Yeah, he was more focused on his personal vendetta than actual, like, police justice because Tommy murdered Billy, but the police weren't there to witness it. Nobody's gonna say anything, obviously. So now no one's gonna be charged for those crimes, and Freddie was able to get away so easily because Campbell had all the police off the street. Yeah, he's like, I don't want to continue, like, I don't want Danny's kids to be involved in this crime, like, let them have normal lives or try to have normal lives and have regular jobs. I thought Campbell would be the one dying in this episode, to be honest.
But there's no chance.
I feel like yesterday he would have said it, but not today.
I'll be in London 1 week. This address. Finish your business here and join me.
I don't think that's happening.
I have an idea.
He's not going to leave his whole family.
Only the Sabinis and the Solomons are bigger than us, boys.
So yeah, they got what they wanted because the Lees were there and the Kimbers. What?
Celebrate.
Tommy's the one that tipped off Kimber?
Shelby Brothers Limited.
Shelby!
Cheers.
Or he's the one that told the police, knowing the police would tell Kimber? He set this whole thing up himself so that the Lees would have free time at the racetrack, basically, and could steal all the bets and, like, set up this legal thing.
I've never loved one before.
Aw. Yeah, he does love her. No, 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 no! Oh my god, I knew they were gonna cut to black. Oh, those jerks. Oh my god. Ah! So that was my first time watching Peaky Blinders Season 1, Episode 6, the season finale. Oh my god, it was a lot. I knew it would be. I wasn't completely right in my predictions. I thought it would be more the Tommy Campbell showdown, which I guess in a sense it was, but maybe just not with as much on-screen time. They only had a few scenes together. The actual physical showdown was between Tommy and Kimber. Maybe like mental showdown, if you want to play it that way, was between Tommy and Campbell as they're each making moves. Like it's this weird chess game. But yeah. Oh, so many things happened. Freddie is now out of jail, and thanks to the help of Danny and a machine gun, he is now running free and is back with Ada and their baby boy Carl, who he named after Karl Marx. It looked like they were just back at Freddie's apartment, so I'm not sure why the police wouldn't go there, but again, I don't know if they're going to stay in London or if they're going to try and run, because Freddie, even though he's free, he wasn't freed legally. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do. I'm glad Freddie's out of jail. Honestly, I thought Campbell was going to torture and kill him and nobody would ever know what happened to him, because we've seen Campbell do that with that other communist that he arrested. So I'm very glad Freddie's back and hopefully can stay safe and lay low for a little while. I don't know whether or not that'll happen in the next season, but I guess we will see. And we saw Ada just get her husband back, and then he's in the middle of the street pointing guns at people and is back to fighting again against Billy Kimber and his gang. And then we see Ada walk out into no man's land wearing black with baby Carl and saying like, hey, enough fighting has happened. Like, we just got out of a world war, basically. Like, we've had enough violence for a little while. Can you please just think about all the people who are going to be left behind if you all just massacre each other in the streets, basically? And I think that kind of, I'm assuming that pulled on the heartstrings of some of them. I'm hoping it did. And then Kimber's response to that is, you're right, like, this is just a battle between me and Tommy. We don't need to, hurt anybody else, basically. And then we see him fire those shots at Tommy and Danny, or whether he was just firing. He did hurt Tommy, but luckily Tommy is okay. Danny, however, not so much. And of course, seeing the season kind of come full circle. When we started, I think it was episode 1, where Tommy takes Danny to the docks and is saying like, hey, you've killed this Italian guy. I need to now make it look like I'm going to kill you. And then obviously we find out Danny goes to London, and then having him fake his death and then actually die at the end of the season. And even Tommy says like, let us all, die twice kind of thing when they're toasting to Danny, because he didn't die the first time we thought, but he's definitely dead now. And they already have the grave for Danny now that it's empty because the guns are gone. So, and his family has obviously thought he's been dead this whole time. So yeah, it was interesting to see that kind of come full circle. And even with starting off at that factory and asking like this fortune teller, was like the very first scene, I believe, with Tommy, and then having Campbell go back to that same factory for different services, and Tommy finding out that that's what Campbell was doing. We get to learn a little bit more backstory about some of the characters in this episode, which I thought was great. Like, we learned that Tommy was into horses, and even though he is involved in horse racing now, maybe he was into horses in like a different way and wanted to pursue a career with horses before the war. And we learned that Paula had 2 kids, Sally and Michael, I believe were their names, that were 3 and 5 years old, and the police showed up and the neighbor reported her for having these sheets that were stolen. So the police come over and find that Paula's been making gin, which during the time of Prohibition would have been illegal, and they take her kids away, which just seems crazy, because I don't know why they wouldn't arrest her, and I don't know where her husband was, if he was even in the picture, or the father of the kids, where he was, but they take the kids away, and then it sounds like Paula hasn't seen or heard from them since, which is crazy, because I don't know how big of a city Birmingham would have been at the time, but I feel like you would have tried to look for them, or maybe they took them to London, or who knows what happened to them. But I felt so bad because Paula has just been this aunt figure, and we haven't really learned too much about what her own family is like. Not that the Shelbys aren't her family, but what her kids were. So it's crazy to think that she has kids out there somewhere that would be around Ada's age and don't know what's happened to her also, or if they even remember her because they would have been so young. But yeah, so I'm interested to see if that element comes back into play later on, if the kids are alive, if they show up, you know, at the door of the pub one day saying, hey, by the way, I'm Aunt Paula's, you know, son or daughter. So yeah, I'm very curious to see, but it just added more elements to the character of Paula, because I think this episode she showed up a lot, and I think some episodes she's more in the background, but this episode we learned a lot about her and a lot about how she deals with people who cross the Shelby family, as Grace's true identity was discovered during this episode, and Paul is like drinking with her saying, you know what, you did save Tommy's life that one time when the IRA was here, so I'm very grateful for that, and that's why we're drinking, but I will also never forgive you, and I'll never welcome you in my home, because it's like the forgive but not forget situation. So yeah, it was very interesting. I feel like she could have 100% killed Grace. I don't know what she had planned for that. If it was like poisoned or something, I don't know. But that showdown between her and Grace, I was not expecting that. And it was very interesting. I didn't know which way it was going to go. I didn't think it would end with the two of them sitting down and drinking. I think sometimes in the show, because Tommy is so front and center, Paula's like toughness and her strength kind of gets pushed to the background, but in this episode we definitely saw that come out, and she is definitely scary and intimidating, and maybe not so much in the way of like fists or anything like that, maybe not physically, but she was definitely intimidating, and that would have been a terrifying situation to be in, and I feel like she could destroy you if she wanted to very quickly. Another big thing that happened in this episode, which I wasn't sure if it would happen, Tommy finds out about Grace, and I feel like she was just about to tell him as well during that scene in the pub, but he finds out about Grace and who she really is, and I thought he might kill her even in that scene when he goes over to her apartment and he's talking about throwing the gun in the river. I thought maybe he was going to shoot her, and then Grace says like, hey, I really did love you, and Tommy says, you know, like Aunt Paula says that you really do, and Aunt Paula's never wrong about these things, so I hope he takes that into consideration and realizes like, hey, she really does care about me. And even when he's writing that letter, he says I love you, and signs it with like all my love. And the flipping a coin situation, some people have that method for making choices, I guess. It reminds me of that movie Old Country for No Men, where he walks around and basically flips a coin deciding if he's going to kill people or not. But that's how Tommy used to make decisions, he says, before the war, is flipping this coin. So he says he's going to write Grace a letter to let her know if he's going to join her or not in 3 days. I can't see him leaving his family, even as strongly as he feels about Grace. He is so invested in this city and all the work he's put into building this business. I can't see him just walking away, even if it is for someone he really loves. And I don't know if Grace could ever return, but yeah, it was interesting to see how Tommy responded to that situation, and if he's going to let his feelings and love prevail over Grace's betrayal and over the things she did, because as far as we know, she's not doing it anymore. I still don't know if she was the one who tipped off the police about Kimber. It doesn't, like, I know she's worked with Campbell, obviously, but I don't know what she would gain about this one last thing, as she would have found out about it after she quit working for Campbell. Or I guess she knew about Black Star Day before, but she didn't know what day it was. So yeah, I'm curious if she's the one who actually told Campbell that this was going to happen, or how the police found out about it. And then of course we have that ending scene, which was very nerve-wracking to watch and making me very anxious, because you see Tommy writing this letter, and I thought maybe Tommy would kill Grace, but that's obviously not what happened. And then he's like putting his feelings in this letter, saying like, hey, maybe we can work something out, or I'm going to see how things go in 3 days after I flip this coin. And then of course we see Campbell come onto the train station, and just having that shot through the train just made it even more, added more tension to the scene, because the audience wants to see 100% what's going on. We want to be right there, and like we want that shot close up, right? But of course we don't get that. It fades to black, and we just hear the shot, off camera. We don't see anything. So, and especially as this would have been the end of a season, luckily season 2 is out now, so I could continue, but having to wait a year or having to wait 8 months or whatever it would have been for the next season to come out would have been excruciating, because you don't know the fate of Grace, basically. We do know Grace also carries a gun, so was she the one who fired the shot? Possibly. I don't know if she would have shot Campbell, but Campbell definitely had his gun pointed at Grace, and maybe he fired a warning shot into the sky, who knows? And of course, with the sound of the train going by, would anybody have even heard anything? And Campbell is obviously a very high-ranking police officer, so if he wanted to kill Grace and have no one ever find out, he definitely could. I really hope Grace is okay, but again, I don't think that's a realistic hope. I feel like Campbell has shot and killed Grace, basically because he was heartbroken and was mad that she was going to be with Tommy, whether in Birmingham or not. I think Campbell was hoping Tommy would die during that brawl, and then maybe Grace would come back to him or something like that. But again, I don't think Grace would, even if Tommy wasn't involved. But if he killed Grace, that's just murder. Like, he just straight up murdered her, and she wasn't a criminal. She was helping him. Like, yes, she did shady stuff, obviously, but it was for his benefit, and it was things that he asked her to do. So I'm very curious as to obviously what happened. I'm hoping Grace is okay, but again, from watching enough TV shows, I feel like she is no longer, I don't think she'll be in season 2, maybe in some flashbacks, but I guess we will see when we watch season 2, but I feel like that's a big moment for Campbell's character, as that changes. He went from, it's okay if I kill people as long as they're bad guys motive. Like, I feel like that was his mentality, as he let these 2 gangs, murder each other in the street and took all the police protection away and didn't care who died, basically, because he's like, oh, they're criminals. Like, they're not people, basically. I feel like that's how he views things, or at least that's how I perceived it. But if he shoots Grace, then that's a whole other ball game, at least from my perspective, because his motivation for killing her is 100% personal. It's just because he's heartbroken and he doesn't want her to be with Tommy. So if she won't be with him, he's not going to let her be with anybody, basically. And yeah, I feel like that's a whole other line that he's crossing. So I feel like Campbell definitely let his personal feelings interfere with police justice, as if he had no connection to Tommy or Grace, or there would have been police on the streets, as he was told that this showdown was happening and that these gangs were going to go basically shoot each other up in the middle of the street. And he's like, you know what, let's pull the police back. Let them fight it out, see what happens, and we'll just go around and collect the bodies after. He was not concerned at all. And like I said, now the justice for, Tommy killing Billy, he's not going to charge Tommy with anything because nobody was there. Nobody's going to talk. The police weren't on the streets patrolling. And Freddie was also able to take advantage of that situation, because with the police not on the streets and not patrolling, they would recognize Freddie 100%, but nobody was around. So Freddie was able to get loose and to go back to the Shelby family and to reunite with Ada and their baby. And Campbell's plan definitely backfired because of the no police on the streets. Freddie was able to be free, and he definitely doesn't want Freddie out of jail. He was going to send him off to another jail, it sounds like, before Tommy intervened. And then we also saw now Kimber's dead, and now he's definitely lost the trust and respect of that second in command officer, who was like, you know what, when you gave this speech, when you came to town, I was, happy because I thought somebody was actually going to finally be straight and follow the rules. But he's like, you're just as corrupt as everybody else, basically. You let people get hurt when you knew about it, and police are supposed to serve and protect. And he was like, oh, you turned a blind eye. He's like, oh, I'm watching. He's just not interfering and helping people. And he could have arrested Kimber, he could have arrested Tommy, he could have, he knew where 2 high profile gangs are, but he was more concerned about his personal feelings and wasn't concerned if a few more gangsters weren't on the streets. We do see Campbell call Churchill towards the end, saying he has some other ideas about his future. Whether that means he'll be in season 2, if he's going to stick around in Birmingham, if he's going to try and have more contact with the Shelby family and the Shelby gang, I don't know. But I'm very curious to see as this went from go get the guns, come back, and that'll be that. I'm curious as to what he's going to tell Churchill as a reason for him to stay, as Churchill sent him there for a very specific reason, and now that mission's completed. So maybe he'll just say, oh, gang activity in Birmingham's, you know, skyrocket, so they need to keep me here. So yeah, I'm expecting him to be in season 2, but we'll see what happens. I really thought there was some great writing in this and some great quotes, like when Campbell's talking to Tommy and he's saying, you know, we're opposites but just the same. I feel like that's a good way of explaining it, as backwards as it may seem. I feel like there's lots of parallels between them, but also some key differences. And that scene at the bar when he's like, you know what, you may be bad guys, but you're our bad guys, basically. And that, like, weird, like, hometown pride, and just the fact that it's almost like Robin Hood. He's like stealing from the rich to bring to the poor. So he's like, yeah, like, you do a lot of shady things, basically, but he's like, we'd rather support you than some other gang. So he's like, everybody's cheering for you, Tommy, and we want you to succeed because they don't want Kimber to win. Since the Lees were at the racetrack and the Kimbers were too busy fighting Peaky Blinders, they were able to take over the betting system, basically. So now Tommy got exactly what he wanted at the start of the day. He has like the biggest legal betting operation, and he can become more legit. And even when he's telling Grace, like, yeah, one day I'm gonna throw this gun in the river, I think Tommy's hoping if he becomes a legit business person that Grace will want to be with him and they can actually have somewhat of a normal life and have a legal life that's, you know, even on the books, even if they do shady stuff on the side, they can still on paper have a legal income and a legal, you know, way to support themselves. And that's what Grace is looking for, and she will become an actual, like, legal, proper employee. So yeah, it seems like that's what Tommy's been working towards this whole season, and now he's taken out his only major competition was Billy Kimber. Overall, I thought it was a really great episode. I really liked the cinematography, and I noticed there was a lot of shots with reflections, like you'd see the puddle and then you'd see them walking towards it, and even when Danny is dying, you see the reflection of his face in the puddle and the blood. I think that's just such an interesting way of conveying this message of identity and reflection and looking in the mirror and seeing, like, who do you think you are, and, you know, who are you going to be, basically. And even when Tommy's talking about, like, hey, Grace was the past, and I'm not concerned about the past, I'm not concerned about the future, I'm just worried about now, basically. And your reflection shows you how you are right now at this exact moment. So it was interesting to see those shots, and just that's what I love about this show, is just they add in, like, you don't need to take that extra step to be creative, but they just do that to help tell the story, and it's just so creative and really takes the story to another level. So I really appreciate, like, all the work that goes into that creative storytelling, and I think that's what makes good shows stand out from the crowd. A lot happened in this episode, obviously. Freddie is out of jail and we're back with Ada. Campbell potentially shot Grace. Again, I'll figure it out in the next episode, but I think Tommy will just be on a revenge rampage against Campbell if that's true. If he finds out that Campbell did it, if he thinks Grace is just blowing him off and isn't responding to his letters. Again, it's the 1919, possibly 1920, so communication wasn't what it is today. So I'm really enjoying the series, really looking forward to continuing on with season 2. Now that Kimber is gone, I'm curious if there will be a new villain or a new rival in season 2, or if it'll be more focused on Tommy and Campbell and this, like, cat and mouse game that they have going on. But thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. You hoping to get, like, his fortune read? Oh, is today the Black Star Day? Laundromat / brothel? Freddie's baby would be named after a communist. Tough guy walk. I thought she was done with Campbell's stuff. I'm so glad we have modern medicine. Yeah, because he told the police to stay away. I knew they were gonna cut to black. Oh, those jerks.